Practically the only place in the world where you can hold an intelligent and profound conversation in the street without being either A, arrested, or B, honked at, is Ireland. Not just a country, more a state of mind. Like Provence, life is lived on the streets, and like Provence, there is time for the young and old. There is a heavy emphasis on food and the good things of life. There is time for pleasure. You see, the quality of life and the flavour of food is more important than the dreaded work ethic or the rush for forced efficiency. Longville House sits proud, not on a knoll or a hill, but an eminence. Great word, great place. Overlooking what they call the Irish Rhine, the Blackwater River, famous for its fine salmon runs. These rich acres with trees planted to celebrate the Battle of Waterloo that surround the house provide most of the produce from beef and lamb to fish, from asparagus to strawberries, that the present incumbents, Jane and Michael O'Callaghan, use in the restaurant. Even the wine from Ireland's only vineyard is quite superb. This is fabulous wine. It's a shame it's the last bottle. Is it truly the last bottle you've made?
Absolutely the last bottle. We kept it for you, Floyd.
That's wonderful. When will there be some more?
Hopefully in September, October, if we get any sun. But today is the 1st of July, we have a fire on, so it's not looking too good.
Never mind, never mind. Anyway, let's get down to pigeons, because pigeons people think are humble, common, peasanty. How do you persuade them in your fabulous dining room to eat such a thing as they might think is a bit, not too good?
Give it a lovely sauce, fabulous sauce, and give it a nice accompaniment also. Also give them a wide choice in the menu so they don't have to eat pigeon if they don't want to, But quite a few people do have it.
How do you cook it then?
Cook it. We start off with this is the leg,
yeah.
And we just chop it up. Well, actually it's the leg of 2 pigeons here. But we chop them up very small.
Yeah.
And we saute it off with a bit of shallot and some garlic and maybe a little bit of thyme, and cover that with water, about a pint of water,
yeah.
a pint and a half, and let it simmer gently for maybe an hour and a half. Then strain that off, and then you have the base of your sauce.
Excellent,
okay?
we've got that. So then to prepare the pigeon itself, what do you do?
You just put butter on it.
Not bacon and things like
Not
that?
at all. You're in Ireland, it's all butter and cream over here.
Right.
So we put butter on.
Now, how long does that stay in the oven for then?
How long would you think it should stay in the oven now?
I'd say probably 20 minutes.
No.
How long?
10, 12.
It's going to come out pink and people are going to send it back.
You've got to eat it rare. If you don't eat it rare, you might as well eat this. Here, take it and eat it. It's the same thing.
OK, well, you take it and cook it and pop it in the oven.
Will you eat it?
I certainly eat it.
Okay.
Now, I just tell you about this wine. It's a Riesling sort of wine. It's the only vineyard in Ireland. It's called Chateau Longville. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's as rare as anything. It's very worth drinking. Nice and close there, Richard, OK? Jane, can you explain exactly what's going on, please?
John is making a brilliant sauce here, Floyd. He's got the stock from the pigeon, which I showed you earlier on, and it has been reduced a little bit because it was too thin. And he has reduced red wine. He fried some shallot, he fried some little bit of garlic and thyme. We're using thyme because we have thyme in the garden at the moment. And now he's just beating in some butter into it to thicken it and to enrich in it.
Absolutely superb. OK,
So
well, I reckon that pigeon must be ready, mustn't it?
Yes, I hope it is.
It's a long 12 minutes, if it isn't. There we go.
See?
So you just carve that.
Yes. And John will put the sauce on the plate.
That's
okay?
right.
Now, this is just right, Floyd, look.
OK, carve away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautifully
Is it
pink.
lovely?
That's absolutely
now,
superb.
You eat it that way?
Yes, I will, I will.
Good. I'm going to have to go down to that bowl. That's the way it should be. See? Pink.
Jane, sorry to interrupt, there's someone at the blinking kitchen door
Oh, no.
there.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
I am trying to make a
Thank you
television
very much.
programme, Jane. It is a bit
Is there some
inconvenient. Isn't it
spinach?
strong? Strawberries,
Thank
can you
you.
take these away, please?
Please. Thomas, would you ever take this spinach? I'm sorry about that,
That's
Floyd.
quite all right.
I'm
It's quite
sorry.
all right. Now get on with the
Business
carving.
has to go on.
I don't see why.
I'm sorry.
I don't see why
well,
at all.
you can't stop, Floyd. Just can't all stop.
Is that all from the garden, honestly?
Yes, everything. We didn't go into town and buy it and bring it through the window just for you.
Touché. OK, get on with it then. John, can we have the sauce, please?
Yeah.
I think Madame here is nearly ready.
Very hard to carve when you're looking at me.
You got it.
I have it, have I?
You have it.
Yeah, you have.
Give it one big one there.
Okay.
Pour the sauce on the plate, please, John. Snap to it. We've got a television crew waiting here. And Richard, you look at that very nicely. You see that lovely, rich, red sauce poured over the wonderful white plate with the pigeon breasts on. And Richard, up to me for a second. Everybody thinks I've done nothing on this programme. Actually, I've cooked the cabbage. It's beautiful cabbage from my 3-acre garden here, walled garden, by the way, simmered gently in butter with little raisins in it. Absolutely superb. And, of course, it makes the dish. Now, look at that. A really super meal. 3-handed it was. Magnificent. The humble pigeon elevated to heights of gastronomy you've never seen before. And back up to us again, please, because we want to make a little speech about vegetables. Do you think they really taste so much better going from the garden, or is that just sort of nonsense, really?
No, it's not nonsense. They have to be better. That cabbage was growing half an hour ago. And it's beautifully fresh, and it'll taste completely different to something that's sitting in a shop for the last week. Here, here's the fresh vegetables.
Yeah. It isn't only wine that needs to be grown on the perfect slope. The identity of a good cheese, too, should reflect the very earth. Now, we all know Ireland's very green, but there is something extra special about this rich grass, washed as it is by the wet winds from America and kissed by the Gulf Stream, which brings fuchsia into bloom, and cows munching on this untainted carpet produce thick, creamy milk, perfect for making cheese. There we are. Thank you, my dear. Once upon a time, in a university in Dublin called Trinity College, there was a dashing young professor of philosophy. And one day, as professors do, he fell in love with a charming young lady. And they didn't want the hustle and bustle of academic life in a busy capital city, so they ran away here to the western coast of Ireland, the furthest extremities of Europe. And they fell in love. They were so deeply in love. They got married, and they had little cheeses. Sweet, isn't it? We've travelled many hundreds of miles to come here to the extreme west coast of Ireland to witness a very, very strange and rare event. It's the first time for several hundred years that a soft cream cheese has been made in the British Isles, or more precisely, here in Ireland. Is that actually true, Veronica?
I believe it is that when we began to make Milleens here, it was the first time for hundreds of years that a soft cheese had actually been manufactured in the British Isles. Yes.
What is it about the Irish then who know... Why do the Irish know about cheese, for heaven's sakes? I mean, I thought the French were the people who made all the cheese.
Following the fall of the Roman Empire, a dark age descended on Europe, and a great deal of the skill and culture was temporarily lost. Meanwhile, in Ireland, where the Romans never came, we were a repository for a great deal of the art and culture. And when the Renaissance came along, out went Irish monks and scholars across Europe, reintroducing, I'm not claiming that we invented cheesemaking by any means, but reintroduced these skills and cultures again to those places where they were gone.
To many people, Irish cookery is just all about potatoes. Well, it's partly true. This brilliant thing you're seeing here is a potato and apple pancake. Richard, where are you, please? This is vital. Breaking brand new ground here. Potatoes, that's the whole thing here. This potato and apple pancake is traditionally made by mixing mashed potato with flour, rolling it very thin like a pancake, stuffing it with apple, folding it like an apple turnover, and frying it in butter. What they don't say in the recipe books, but what I'm going to tell you should have to do, is pour whiskey over it, like that, and then set fire to it, and you absolutely have something that should dazzle even these academic and very brilliant cheesemakers. And if it doesn't, I won't eat their cheese. Is that okay? Right, there we are. That is a new thing of apple and potato pancakes. Can I give you a little tiny bit?
Yes, please.
Brilliant.
I like quite a generous helping.
A generous helping. Norman and Veronica are these brilliant people who I told you about in the fairy tale when we started, fell in love all those years ago, dragged themselves off down here to this romantic part of the world and made brilliant cheeses. Taste that, if you would, please, because I think it's quite brilliant.
That's good.
And you've got to do it quickly because we haven't got lots of film, OK? Just say it's really brilliant.
Really super. Great.
Quite brilliant or very brilliant?
Very brilliant.
A definite breakthrough. Brilliant.
An Anglo-Irish first.
Absolutely.
Superb. Right, we can't have any more of that. Thank you very much indeed. You can eat that after you've done your work, because what I want to know, really quite seriously, this is a cookery programme, we do try to give you information to, is about your brilliant cheese. Now, can we start with this one, which I think is very young, isn't it, Norman?
It is, yeah. This is a young cheese. You can see it's young inside.
Can you just say why exactly you can see that?
Well, you can see the cheese is ripening here from the outside.
Yes.
And it still hasn't ripened all the way through. But it's very mild and it'll be very nice.
May I taste a bit?
Yeah.
Is he saying the right things? Because you actually make the cheese, Veronica, don't you?
This will taste quite acidic, clean, acid flavour, which I love, young cheese.
Here's a riper one. This one here is very ripe. It's ripened right the way through. Do you see what I mean? Compare it there.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
It's very strong. It's got a fairly strong smell to go with it. It's sort of strictly for the initiated, I think.
Does a beautiful countryside make a beautiful cheese?
Yeah, I think if you're happy somewhere and doing something well, it's going to show through in what you come out with and what you make.
And the cheese seems to be happy here. I mean, this is a taste of your home, isn't it?
Well, there's no point in fighting with the environment that you're in. Why not make something and do something that's going to fit in with it? There's no point in making something to be better off in a desert, is there?
I tell you what, the toy and strife doesn't fit in here. I haven't seen your lovely Irish locks yet. Off with the hat, if you don't mind.
How do you know I'm not bald?
Well, it's a chance I'm going to take. Wow. That is beautiful. Now listen, you've come all this way from Dublin. You've forsaken, you know, the port and the parties, the conversation of Joyce, Nietzsche, J.P. Donlevy, all that lot. Was it worth it?
Oh, the boring old soaks in the pubs of Dublin. Ooh.
Ah, come on, you can replace the port with porter, and you can have some very interesting conversations down here. No, I think we're very happy here. We've a nice family and a lovely place to live, and it's really nice putting a bit of this part of the world into a lot of other ones, of our cheese turning up in London, Germany, all over the place, and people enjoying it, enjoying where we live. Good luck.
Good luck.
They say life begins at 40, and it's true. In the way that you can, in a crowded room, catch the eye of a stranger and fall head over heels in love, with a passion and a certainty that defies logic or explanation, so it was with me, when I staggered, shaken and slightly unsteady from a buffeting ride in a little aeroplane at Cork Airport for the first time. Quite frankly, Ireland gobsmacked me. And I don't care if this sounds pompous or pseudy, I felt a sense of excitement and thrill that had been missing from my life for years. Whew! I've got it off my chest now, thank goodness. I feel a little better. But this isn't the psychiatrist's chair, you know, not yet anyway. It's a cookery programme, and the First Lady of Irish Cookery is Her Grace Myrtle Allen. I was relaxing...
I beg your pardon?
I was relaxing with a glass of stout in the pub the other day after a very hard day's filming. We got to chatting, and as usual, we started talking about food, and not food in general, but Irish stew in particular. You know, in Ireland it's difficult to find. Sometimes in pubs midday you can get it. In England it's often a disastrous mishmash of potatoes, lamb and onions boiled to death. Tastes absolutely awful. So I wanted to find out the secret of what I think to be one of the finest dishes on earth. So I came to my friend Myrtle Allen, who is undisputably the queen of Irish cooking. Famous here at Ballymaloe, famous in Beverly Hills, in Paris, and throughout the land. It's true, isn't it, Myrtle? She's absolutely brilliant. And she knows all about it. But before we go into all of that, Richard, usual business, spin round the ingredients. Most important thing is a splendid shoulder of lamb, traditionally butchered. More of that later. Spring onions, new potatoes, not the flowers, OK? Young baby carrots, a bit of fresh thyme, a bit of fresh, I forgot the name of that, Myrtle. What's that?
Marjoram.
Marjoram, a bit of fresh marjoram. Then I've butchered the chops over this way a bit to take off all the fat, because we need those to cook the chops in later, and that's where I cut my finger, ho, ho, ho. So we've got nice, down here again, Richard, thank you, don't smirk. We've got these nice cutlets to saute off later on, bit of parsley to garnish it off with. Over here, we're going to need some stock. We use this piece of bone, stay there, Richard, from the end of the lamb there, pop that in with the tops of the spring onions, a bit of thyme, parsley stalks, economical use of parsley stalks, a few chopped carrots, covered with water, like that, and that's put on to simmer to make our stock. But that's fine. There's another chop in the bottom. Chops in the bottom is the first thing, isn't it? As you can see, I've been frying them in the sweated down lamb dripping, and I'd like to eat a little piece of that. Myrtle, do you want a little bit? It's absolutely fabulous. Okay. This will have the doctors up in arms, won't it? Never mind about them. Right. Now, next thing is what? The onions and the carrots in there.
That's right. Just give them a quick turn. If it's a bit too slow, you may have to heat that fat a minute.
And then our thyme.
A little bit of time, though, yeah. That's enough. And let's put in that bit of margarine we've got.
Margarine there, fine.
That's enough, yeah.
My viewers have seen an Irish stew made with whole potatoes. They would tend to think of it as being sliced in there,
There
I
are
fancy.
different ways of doing it. Some people slice them. They say the potato thickens the gravy, but I love them whole on top, and they get brown, you know, in the oven. Now, you want to get this. Have you got the lid or something? You
No,
want
I'll
to
do
strain it.
Well, the trouble is, under pressure like this, I sometimes have to improvise, because once this goes in, I've had it. So I'll strain it through like that. Now, it doesn't have to cover the potatoes, does it? Because with the lid on, they're going to sort of steam and glaze as they cook. And by the way, you don't need to throw that away. You could wait for that to be cold. You could chop it up into little bits. You could toss it with a bit of vinegar or something, couldn't you?
Well, you could.
Or something. You wouldn't necessarily throw that away. What would you do with that?
I'd give it to the dog, actually, myself, I'm afraid.
These people who live in castles. Anyway, that goes in the oven for what? For how long now?
That goes in the oven. At this time of year, the lamb is young, say 3/4 to 1 hour.
3/4 to 1 hour.
Yeah.
And we'll go and do something really amusing until that's ready to eat.
Fine.
So let's wander off.
Right.
And he'll think of something to make us look pretty interesting while we're gone. By popular request and overwhelming demand, I've been asked to show you the steamroller being unloaded by a committee again. And may I remind you that a committee is a group of well-intentioned people who individually can do nothing and collectively decide that nothing can be done. The Irish stew, in the name of the law, the producer made me say that bit, turned out to be superb. But after simmering for an hour or so, it's worth skimming the fat before serving. There's no hard and fast recipe for this classic dish, and Myrtle Allen sets greater store on the quality of ingredients rather than the variety of them.
If I had seen you a week ago, my butcher had brought me in a sward of grass from the pasture that he likes to fatten his beef on. And it contained so many little flowers, the clovers, the red and the white, many grasses and plants. He won't give his cattle, for instance, silage. He looks for sweet hay with plenty of meadowgrass in it, which of course is very uneconomical for farmers to grow. So we still have these people in the country, and they need to be encouraged.
Is there any other place in the world you'd rather be than here in Ballymaloon?
Well, I haven't had a chance to try. You see, I've been here a long time, since I was 19. And maybe there would be, you know, I wouldn't mind the Pacific, but I have a feeling it's not what it used to be.
Thornley House near Kinsale is a great place for the crack and a fine plate of grub, run by my old chum Billy Mackesy. Hi, thank you. We didn't go into Billy's restaurant kitchen because, like all professional cooks, we get sick and tired of fine French cuisine. What we like to sometimes have a few jars and cook something really simple. And you know this is genuinely my home because of the sign. You all understand that, no prats in the kitchen. And what Billy and I do, when we finished a hard night's work mucking about, really working, we like to have a bit of sliced old beef and a few jars. But it's a very funny dish to make, this, isn't it? What exactly is it?
It's a great Cork dish. It's spiced beef, Keith, it's called. What they do is they corn the beef, put it into water and a proportionate measure of, say, saltpetre, things like that.
In fact, we're going to interrupt ourselves here. This is, in fact, the third take we've done because the director still hasn't understood what corned beef is. He actually thinks it's got corn in it, OK? Billy, in 5 simple words, what is corned beef?
The expression corned beef means that the beef is pickled in a solution of saltpetre, water and maybe salt extracts. And the reason you corner it is because besides giving it this beautiful flavour, it also tenderises the meat.
Sure. And then after you've done that for about a week,
Indeed.
you mix it up with all this explosive-looking mixture of gunpowder.
Right, Keith, what we've got here, as you well know, you have your ground black pepper, your white pepper, your cayenne, your allspice, your nutmeg, you've got your brown sugar, your cinnamon, your juniper berry, your saltpetre, and your ground cloves.
And you whack the whole
You
lot
do
in
indeed.
like that?
You do.
Okay.
Get a fistful of it in your
Yeah.
hand like that. And you'd see it on butcher stalls now, especially around December, the end of November, December, and it would look really well kind of decorated like that, all on the stoves. Fabulous.
Right. And that would then go into a wooden barrel or an earthenware
Indeed it
bowl
would.
for what, a month? Or?
Indeed, Keith, yeah. Approximately a month, and rolled and redone. Sometimes that they also use is the mixture from the corning, the water extract with all the spices put together and kind of filmed around it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that is now a Magic of Television. That's 3 months old now, not off, 3 months cured. It goes in, Richard, come here, into a simple vat of water, root vegetables, leeks, celery. Haven't got any leeks in there, onions and a bouquet garnis, a little faggot of herbs, as we call it in English programmes, faggots. Got a few of those. That goes in there, okay. And then, because we're very strong chaps, we just lift that up. Actually, Billy, you go up, and we'll see you in 3 hours' time. Ah, there you are. I've just been microwaving this mashed potato, which I cooked earlier. Very useful thing to do. Nicest kitchen, isn't it? First time I've ever cooked here, because normally, of course, my staff attend to all these kind of things, but I thought to give you the real impression of being a genuine, simple human being, I'd do it myself. And because we like simple things, the good thing to eat with spiced beef is a thing called cold cannon, which is mashed potato, hot chopped cooked cabbage, okay, over here a bit, Richard, difficult for you I'm sure, chopped shallots, or I beg your pardon, not shallots, scallions or spring onions. We put a handful of those straight into the mashed potato like that, whisk it up a little bit, stir them in, then we put in some hot milk. There are no quantities or measurements to this. You do this the way it sort of feels right. And by the way, you don't particularly, back to me please Richard, you don't particularly cook this for a dinner party. It's the sort of thing you do when friends drop in unexpectedly and you've got just potatoes and onions and cabbage lying around the place, you know. Right, whisked up in quite well there. Then some of this lovely Irish cabbage, hearty cabbage, slightly boiled and chopped fine, like that. Better have a taste at this stage. Good, but no seasoning. Need seasoning. Salt. Pepper. Your beef doing all right over there, Billy, by the way?
Oi. Yeah, not too bad, Keith.
Good. Excellent. A handful of parsley into that. Now, I still think that's a bit stodgy. You see that all right? Nice mixture, though. I'm going to add now some melted butter, good cholesterol, heart attack inducing stuff. Please don't take me seriously. I don't wish a heart attack on anybody, really. But this is the sort of thing that doctors write to me about and say you'd be much better off just having a lettuce leaf and a plate of beans. So I don't go with that. Well done, my dear. Right. That is the cold cannon. Off with the lid there. See how they're getting on. Oh boy. Richard, that is superb. Doesn't that smell good? It smells like an oriental spice parlour, you know, as opposed to a simple Irish kitchen. Get rid of that over there. Whack it up, Billy, my dear, because you ought to have a slice of that. Thing is, Richard, please, while Billy's taking that out, this is traditionally cooked on Christmas Eve. When you come back from Mass, you have a slice hot. The main deal is to let it cool until tomorrow and have it for breakfast with a pint of stout before you start your Christmas Day celebrations. Fantastic. You carving?
Yep.
I'll dash up some potato here. But the trouble is with this, you know, it's a superb dish, but it isn't the kind of thing that the high-flying punters in smart restaurants are going to get, are they? A, they think it's not good enough, and B, the cook isn't going to offer it to them.
Okay, let's look back after the last couple of years. We've come a long way now. Not alone have we have we gone through the French era of dishes, etc., but a lot of our own dishes, traditional dishes, maybe thanks to people like you, we're bringing these back to the fore. Time will give us a chance to put these back on the menu. I have no hesitation. Your programme is going to do that. The awareness is going to be made. Because that is flavour, it's something that's not in the books. You know, God only knows probably, but I do think it does stand a good chance. It does stand a good chance. It's tasty, it looks well to the eye. Yeah. Maybe in a cold starter with various little types of salads around it. You know, someone could take it from there.
I'll tell you what it does do to you. It gives you a brilliant thirst, doesn't it? Because this is very, very spicy, this bit. Slancher.
Slanter stock.
Slanter stock.
Good, isn't it?
That's very good. Do you want a Roman one or an Etruscan one?
Floyd, tell me, how are you as a cook?
Well, as a potter, I'm no... Well, as a potter, I'm pretty good, really.
Yeah, I reckon you're pretty good, and your cooking is roughly the same standard.
I came to Ballycotton, famous for its superb place and potatoes, thank you, to cook at the home of Stephen Pearce, the potter you've just seen. Unfortunately, the fisherman, because of a little dispute with the Irish Navy, didn't go to sea that day. So instead of cooking a plumptuous place, we just made the sauce. As Hoagie Carmichael said, some days there just ain't no fish. Brilliant interlude, wasn't it? Absolutely fabulous. Did you enjoy the interlude?
Oh, yeah, I love interludes.
Yes, he would never see it, you know. He doesn't even have a television set.
No.
Now then, what have you done so far?
Now, I've put the yolks of 2 eggs in here. I put lemon juice, white wine, and I've decided that it's just about thick enough now, so we're going to add the first bit of butter and beating it in, and you get the first little bit of butter beaten in, and then some more butter, and you don't worry about quantities. 2 yolks of eggs and put in anywhere 4, 6, 8 ounces of butter. It doesn't matter. Even my mother, who was probably the best cook in Ireland, used to get out her double boilers, and we used to be sent out of the house and everything, you know, God was called upon when hollandaise sauce was made. But I just slap it together. The one rule is you must have a thick bottomed saucepan, and you can't fail.
Famous last words, I hope. They are not. Now, what did you do before you became a famous hollandaise sauce maker, then?
Well, I've done a bit of everything. I've never done... Everything I do with gusto, and I've never done anything in the form of a career. When I was a young boy, I remember leaving school and everybody had been figuring out what they were going to do with their lives, and I'd been so involved with girls that I'd never had a chance to choose, and I just happened to fall into pottery, and then I'd done that for a few years, and I managed rock and roll bands in England, and I've done faith healing, and I do all sorts of things. I like to play just in this game, just like we're playing now, you know.
Why did you stop the rock and roll?
Well, you know, these old drugs and drink, and it burns you out, you know. It's fun at the time, but afterwards.
The night you do with your faith healing with my directories, I mean, you don't do spiritualism as well and stuff like that.
Sure, we'd have a shot at anything.
Could you? We'll try him later on,
Yeah,
because he's got all sorts of funny, you know,
Oh, he's
funny
a
elements.
nasty person, isn't
Yes,
he?
he's cruel, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, is that curdling or anything?
Well,
This couldn't be the first.
I've never curdled it yet, but this looks like the first time. You actually diverted me deliberately.
How can you divert an Irishman? How can you
are a
divert...
naughty boy. You are a very naughty boy. You'll be getting smacked in a minute.
By the magic of television, I'm going to cast a spell on that and make it absolutely brilliant. Can you give me a little bit of hot water?
Ah, a little hot water, right? Are you sure you know what you're doing?
I think I know what I'm doing. Is that hot?
All right, yes, you tell me when.
Stop.
Wonderful.
I don't want to show off, but if you just pass me a...
Oh, that's unfair.
just pass me a sauce boat, would you please?
Yes, one moment now. We're nearly in business. Oh, you're a very nasty person.
A sauce boat, please. Now that is all smooth and perfect again, is it not?
That is absolute magic.
So, ladies and gentlemen at home, if your hollandaise sauce curdles, quickly, very, very quickly, get Stephen, you know, whistle and he'll come, pour in a little drop of hot water, whisk like butter. Or we shall complete that out, I'm sure. And there it is, it's made and ready. Shall we drink to that?
Very well done, well done. Apple juice or wine?
Apple juice, please.
Right. Here's yours. I've taken a bigger glass than you because I'm not as modest as you are.
Good health.